The Weird Al Show is back! Weird Al, please stand aside. Hi everybody, this is Black Rhino Ranger. Here it is, the final commentary of my birthday animation countdowns I did last year. The final one that focuses on 2023, when I turned 29 years old. And it had a great start. I was able to see my most favorite singer, Weird Al Yankovic, live in Manchester. Before he only visited England about 3 times, I think. His first was in London in 2010, but we couldn't go because it was snowing. It was on Christmas time. 2015, we nearly went. He was performing in Birmingham, but unfortunately, we nearly went. We bought the tickets and stuff, but before we could get on the plane, it was a bit of a stair accident, and there was a bit of one of my grand relatives passed away, and we had to be with our relatives on their birthday, so we couldn't go. We had to sacrifice our ticket. 2023, we finally had the opportunity to go. We bought the VIP tickets. We went, and I felt amazed. I got to see my favorite idol live, and I even got to talk to him for a bit and said to him, "I'm your #1 fan in Malaysia." And he's like, "Oh, thank you so much." But I haven't met anybody else in Malaysia who's as big as a fan as I am. But if I'm not the #1 fan, then I am one of the biggest fans. Of course, unfortunately, the happiness didn't last for long. As in later in 2023, my grandmother passed away. It was very sad, and shortly before the year ended, my computer got busted, so I had to get myself a new one in 2024. So, what's my most favorite cartoon of 2023? Despite how poorly it was treated, despite that cliffhanger, despite the fact it only lasted for 1 season, and despite the fact that it got removed from Disney Plus, and I still cannot forgive Disney for what they did, but I still think my most favorite cartoon of 2023 is Haley's on It. It is very cute. I love the dynamic between Scott and Haley, and Beta gets some good laughs. I like the idea of doing as many tasks as you can in order to help save the world, and I do really like the scenarios they pulled off. And I do wish, hopefully one day, Haley can still be revived one way or another. If not a TV show, then a graphic novel, just like Final Space, or Milo Pony Season 10, or Gravity Falls: The Lost Legends. There is a way to continue the franchise further, if not by a new season. Let's hope for a miracle on that. My honorable mentions are Agent Elvis, based on a rumor that Elvis was a spy or an agent for somebody, and it was created by Elvis's ex-wife, Priscilla. It may be a bit raunchy at times, but I do like the action, the voices of Tom Kenny and Matthew McConaughey, and it can get a laugh at times. And I do like the little baby Rhino cameo. Unfortunately, it only lasted for 10 episodes and on a cliffhanger. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I do like the Moon Girl aspects, and I do like how it showcases how Moon Girl is a genius, but is also a bit flawed and insecure at times. And I do like how diverse the show presents with LGBTQIA+, as well as different ethnicities. But for me personally, I feel like there's a key component missing. The focus on Devil Dinosaur. I do like Devil Dinosaur, he's pretty cute, but I wish we could focus on where he came from. As someone who read the original Devil Dinosaur comics, I feel like they should have had an episode that took place in the dinosaur world. And if possible, do have a cameo of Moon Boy, his original partner. I'm not sure if this ever happened in season 2. I haven't seen seen much of season 2 yet. I probably should, but I feel like they should have had an episode where it took place in the dinosaur world to help justify Devil Dinosaur's appearance in the show. Because I feel like it focuses a bit too much on Moon Girl and the folks around her, including that athlete who had an episode focusing on her, but then it got banned because, well, the political environment we got right now. So yeah, again, I probably would have liked. I do like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, but I probably would have liked it a lot more if it had an episode focusing on Dinosaur's homeworld. So yeah, and finally, my adventures with Superman. I haven't seen a lot of the episodes, but the only reason why I put this on the list because it's the only other show I've seen from 2023. I've seen the first few episodes and they were pretty great, but the only thing that was I found the most a lot of people bring up that Lois Lane looks a lot like Luz Naseda from the Owl House. I can see the resemblance, but here's a little fun fact. Mae Whitman, the voice of Amity Blight from the Owl House, at one point voiced Lois Lane when she was a little girl in Superman, the animated series. In fact, I like to see Amity more as Lois than see Luz as Lois. I don't know. I find the Lois thing a bit overrated and not as funny as it was anymore. Okay, so my next stop is Nimona. Okay, my most favorite anime movie is Nimona. We all thought this show was going to be canceled, that this movie was going to be canceled ever since Blue Sky got closed down. We thought it was going to be scrapped altogether. Thanks to another studio, they managed to revive it, pick up what Blue Sky left off, and revive it for Netflix, and it was an absolute masterpiece. Showcasing Nimona with her ability to shapeshift, has a bit of a commentary on identity and also commentary against bigotry and stuff like that. Nimona, I think, is one of, if not the best thing that N.D. Stevenson has ever made. In fact, I think N.D. Stevenson has made us something, is better off making something original than adapting somebody else's work. I mean, I'm sorry, but Nimona triumphs over She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. Anyways, my honorable mentions are Elemental, showcasing a bit of immigration, a bit of a Romeo and Juliet-like vibe, and seeing how... And it's quite cute to see how fire can like water. It kind of reminds me of Finn's relationship with the Flaming Princess in a sense. It's quite crazy how it didn't open very well on its first opening, but it got better box office results as later on. There's Across the Spider-Verse, which dives deeper into Gwen's backstory, Spider-Gwen, showcasing a bit more of how Miles Morales came to be, and it showed so many crazy stuff with how many Spider-Man characters they can include, including the 1967 Spider-Man cameo. That was funny. And unfortunately, the production trouble is why Beyond the Spider-Verse had to be delayed for about 4 years. And Phil Lord and Chris Miller ain't exactly super kind to the animators, always demanding a bit of perfection and not caring about the well-being of others. The animators were like struggling, being paid little and not being in their best health. It shows a bit of a lesson, fellas. Always put people first before product. You can make a masterpiece, but think about the people who are helping you make that masterpiece more than the masterpiece itself. Anyways, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. as another movie that does the sketchy art style thing like Across the Spider-Verse, but I think it's quite utilized very well. It may not be my most favorite thing that's Ninja Turtles related. I still prefer the 87 series or Turtles Forever or even Rise of the TMNT, but I do think it's a solid addition. And it showcases that maybe mutants are misunderstood beings or something. And there's a different side to being a good mutant and being a bad mutant. I probably and the only nitpick I have is why Donnie needs glasses. Wouldn't they fall off if he's flipping? And why not wear goggles like the Michael Bay Donatello? I know. That was a stupid thing for me to say, but and that's only a nitpick. But everything else about the movie is great. Heck, the Turtles actually feel like they were acting like teenagers rather than their previous counterparts. And the Super Smash Brothers movie. So much better than the 1993 live-action film with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, but while it may be a bit predictable at times, of course it's coming from an Illumination movie and it plays a bit too safe, it's amazing how this video game movie based on a video game managed to rake in over $1 billion. To showcase even a movie adaptation of a video game can be super successful, and the Super Mario Brothers movie and the Sonic movies prove that. Not every game is lucky. I mean, Ratchet & Clank had a $20 million budget, only made $10 million. So I don't think Sony is ever going to try and make a movie based on Ratchet & Clank again. They have not made a Sly Cooper show because of that either. And speaking of video games, my most favorite game is Crash Team Rumble. Now, I am aware of that this is not everybody's favorite, and I know a lot of people have issues with the game, like for the fact that it's a live service game and it's online only, and it doesn't have any story modes or other things. And as well as some people a bit too competitive and not being easy, and it's unbalanced and stuff like that. Now, I personally do like playing the game, and I especially like playing as Cat-Bat a lot. I love playing as them with their ability to fly, their ability to swoop, the ability to maneuver. It may be their only game, but I really loved playing as Cat-Bat. And it's also the first time you get to play as some of the other characters on foot, like Engine, Embryo, and Entropy. Before, you could only play as them in a cart. And the only other time we can play as them on foot is like in Crash Bash, Crash Team, Crash Boom Bang, and Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time with Dingo Bell and Cortex and Tanya. In fact, I know this is not very ideal, and because Toys for Bob had left after making this game, left Activision and became an independent company, imagine another company being tasked to make a Crash Team Rumble 2. Here's what I think would be an improvement from the original. Have both an online and offline option, so that way people can play the game without having the need to go online. Include a story mode either for each character or just one big narrative, either like Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe or Mortal Kombat at 11 or other Mortal Kombat games where you have a story mode and it focuses on different characters and stuff. Or it can be they can each have their own type of story mode, similar to the Street Fighter characters in Street Fighter V. They each have their own story mode. Include more types of competitive modes. I mean, we had party mode that has Dig It and stuff like that, but other types of competitive modes as well. Like Halo had Deathmatch or Slayer or Team Slayer or Capture the Flag or Regicide or King of the Hill and stuff like that. Crash Team Rumble should do that as well. Heck, they should have a free-for-all type of game where it's every player for themselves. allow new players to join in midway to a game. No bots. Because whenever the bots show up, I feel like I think it's one reason why a lot of games why we had to wait for so long, because the bots are not allowing other players to join in midway. I mean, Halo and Transformers War for Cybertron allow players to join in midway. I have so many others, but I'll probably enlist them on another date. My voice is giving out a little bit. So, anyways, I'm trying to think. I only played I only played two games in other games in 2023, and honestly, they're not that great. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, while I do like playing as them, we get to see more franchises from it, like Angry Beavers and El Tigre. I think it lags a bit, and it's a bit slower compared to All-Star Brawl. And the arcade mode is a bit random. I haven't played story mode yet, but and I do still enjoy playing the game, but I find All-Star Brawl 1 the best. Because heck, All-Star Brawl 2 doesn't have Lincoln Loud and Cat Dog, and those were some of my favorite characters to play as. And the only other game I played is Mortal Kombat 1, and I got the Nintendo Switch version, and stinker. It was absolutely bad. The graphics were bad. The gameplay, well, it was a bit confusing at times, but I mean, the story mode is nicely rendered, but when they showcased the graphics when playing the game, and I had to keep restarting the game because it kept glitching, especially when I have Shang Tsung transform into characters and checking out their stats and moves and stuff. It was just I don't think I'm interested in getting the Chaos Reigns pack. Maybe if I get my hands on a PS5 version, I might change my mind on that part. But again, the Switch version is absolute garbage. Even with the Chaos Reign thing, even with the graphics updated and maybe a little additional add-on of the animalities, and it just wasn't my thing. And I really think NetherRealm Studios might need to step up their game if they ought to make a new Mortal Kombat game or a new Injustice game. Those are the only games I've played, but I do own two games, Hogwarts Legacy and Street Fighter 6. I might take a peek at playing as them, so I will try and play them. Yes, I am aware of Hogwarts Legacy, and the person who made it was also. I am aware of the controversy of Hogwarts Legacy, but as someone who does like Harry Potter, I'm still willing to play the game. Nevertheless, it is made by the same guys who made Disney Infinity. And Street Fighter 6, well, I'm quite big on Street Fighter. I will try and get my hands on it. I mean, I do have my hands on it. I will try and play it as soon as I can. And I heard Elena, who's one of my favorite Street Fighter's characters, is about to come to Street Fighter 6. Okay, okay, so that's it for all my honorable mentions and stuff. Let's go on to the video. So unlike my previous two entries, it is animated again. But again, since I was on a bit of a time crunch because we were about to visit England, I could only showcase beta for a split second. And I had to read the letter immediately and say, from QMan256, do you have any kind of pet? I said I used to have a pet who was a golden retriever, but then he passed away. He used to have a girlfriend who's also gone, and I named him after Courage the Cowardly Dog. There's a picture of Nimona as a rhino, and QMan256's favorite movie is Paw Patrol the Mighty Movie. I said it before and I say it again, I don't think I'm interested in checking out preschool shows anymore, especially preschool movies, because I'm more of an older kids stuff guy. But if you like, I will try and check it out, because I am amazed at how much of a fan base Paw Patrol has been getting, especially in the past decade. I mean, somebody asked me to include a Paw Patrol song in one of my Skylanders with Different Songs videos, and I granted their request. But again, I'm not too bothered about Paw Patrol myself. I did see a few episodes. Also, this picture of Catbat was reused from my Scrape and Lick animation, where I have Catbat reenact Dracula from Billy and Mandy over the Scrape and Lick. And over here is Tac Tech Tick Tuck and Took, the OC of Chloe. They're watching on their iPad the Hungry Squirrel meme thing from the Kif episode about Hungry Squirrel. And yep, that's about it for 2023, and that's my final countdown animation. Now you're probably wondering, since 2024 has passed, do I still consider what do I consider as my most favorite show, movie, and game of 2024? Now, before was my birthday, these were my original considerations. Charlie Morningstar represented Has Been Hotel, which I did see and I did consider my favorite of that year so far. Purgwari, the goddess from the Casagrandes movie, and that was my most favorite of 2014 before my birthday. And although I did not play the game, I did see some gameplay footage of it, and I was enjoying it. And I considered Azuzina from Tekken 8 as my most favorite video game of 2024 so far. Now, do I still think Has Been Hotel, Casagrandes the movie, and Tekken 8 are my most favorite shows, animated movie, and game of 2024? Yes for Has Been Hotel, and yes for Tekken 8. But as for the Casagrandes movie, I now consider The Wild Robot as my most favorite of 2024. And my honorable mentions, let me just read what I've written somewhere here. Where did I put that? Here it is. My honorable mentions, I will say, are the Casagrandes movie, Inside Out 2, Transformers 1, and Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul. And my most favorite TV cartoon, my honorable mentions for favorite TV cartoon is Primos, I know that's a bit controversial, Invincible Fight Girl, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Batman Caped Crusader. And my honorable mentions of video games are, I haven't played them yet, but I do own them, so it's Lego Horizon, the Patrick Star video game, Astrobot, and South Park Snow Day. So, and also, in case you're wondering, what is my most favorite 2025 game, so video, film, or TV show or movie so far? For now, it's Stugo and the Plankton movie. As for video game, I have not gotten a single video game from 2025 yet, but who knows? Maybe I might get my hands on a game before my birthday, but in the meantime, thank you for enjoying my commentaries, and yeah, that's about it. That's my entire commentary on my birthday animation countdown I did last year. And it's nearly happy birthday for me. Hope you've enjoyed this video.